What's going on, everyone? So, we have the Meeks Twins back in the upcoming Scream 7. And look, I'm all for it. I do think that they probably should have died in the last movie, particularly Chad. You had like an awesome scene, and I feel like you really kind of spoiled that with him living at the end and just kind of giving the core forward. He just seemed like, I'm good, guys. It's fine. I walked it off. I was stabbed in every part of my body by two killers, but it's all good. Nonetheless, right? They're in the film. Sure. I'm all for it. Let's do it, right? Now, with Mindy in particular being in this film, there's probably going to be the speech that she gives, right? You saw it in Scream 5 about the requels. You saw it in Scream 6 about the franchise. We're in a franchise, right? Here's the thing. If you're going to give Mindy a speech, please make the speech actually fit the film. Scream 6, she gives an entire speech, and it's literally like a 3-minute to 5-minute dialogue or whatever, and it is the most pointless dialogue ever. Literally, nothing she says happens in the movie. Nobody dies, nobody's really in danger. Like, the closest anything happens to actually what she said in her speech is when Chad is in the shrine room being attacked by Ghostface, and Ghostface goes to try to, slice him, and he ducks it, and it cuts off one of the mannequin's heads. And he goes, "Oh, decapitation." That's literally the only thing that she says in the movie that actually happened. Everything else doesn't happen. If you're going to give a speech, if you're going to give a dialogue from Mindy, at least have it serve a purpose and point to the upcoming action, like to the movie, right? Randy used to give speeches. One, they weren't like 20-minute dialogues, right? But it was things that set the rules and gave you insight on how the film is going to operate, right? Like you saw like Randy when he's giving his speech in the classic Scream 96, right? What do you see? You see him explaining the virgin thing, and then you see Sydney, getting ready to lose it, right? Like, you saw purpose, right? Scream 2, he's giving the speech to Dewey, and literally everything happens. He sets the rules. Scream 3, you get it. You get the dialogue. Literally everything that happens. You have to cryogenically blow up his head, right? That was basically Roman. And guess what? Every Scream movie since Scream 3 has followed Scream 3's rules. The killers, the body count is always bigger, right? The killers are always, the rules were set up and established by Randy to give the viewer, he was the voice of the audience. He was the viewer's perspective, and to give the viewer information that now we have a better understanding and grasp of this Scream movie. Mindy's dialogues have not done that. They've literally just been dialogues and over-the-top dialogues just to give dialogue. We don't need a 5-minute scene of her just saying a bunch of nothing. I'd rather her not do a dialogue at all and why don't you just develop the character more, right? Instead of you spending 5 minutes of her just giving this rant that leads nowhere, why don't we develop her character more, right? The Meeks Twins have been in this film, or are going to be in this film. This will be the third film the Meeks Twins are in. Who are they as characters? Honestly, like, what do we know about Chad and Mindy as characters? Like, we don't know. We don't know anything about them. Nothing, right? Other than Mindy gives over the top rants and Chad is a lover boy, right? Like, outside of that, we don't get anything, right? He's the moose, he's the muscle, he's the protector. Outside of that, you don't know nothing. Like Sydney, Tatum, like they're hanging out. Like we knew who Randy was. You got to actually understand and embrace who Randy was. Sydney, Dewey, Gail, like you knew who they were. You knew who Gail was. She would slit anyone's throat in order to get a story, right? So much so people were like, maybe she's staging the nude, right? Like, you knew who these characters were. They built these characters. And the reason we're so in love with these characters, Sydney and Gail and then Dewey before his demise, was because we got to grow with them. We got to continue to develop them. We got to continue to tell their story. I mean, Gail, I've talked about this. Gail has had the best transition of any of the characters, even over Sydney. Watch Gail in Scream 96 and watch her in Scream 4. Scream 5 and 6 didn't really expand on her character. I mean, even the Dewey and Gail story, right, as why they broke up didn't make sense, right? Especially like if you know the history of Gail and Dewey. But I digress. I don't want to get into that because I can get into that for an hour. But point is like Gail went from this cutthroat, doesn't care about anybody, willing to throw somebody under the bus if it means she can write a book about it, to her being a stay-at-home housewife that is, trying to adapt and evolve and put Dewey first, put herself aside, right? I mean, even in Scream 2, there was a total change and stuff, right? And like, you saw her character development. You saw her growth over the course of 4 films, right? Well, now we're going to be in a 3rd movie with the Meeks Twins. Can we get a little more growth and development? Can we not just have Mindy's speech be pointless? Can we actually learn who Chad and Mindy are other than just essential glorified background characters at this point, right? Like, I'd like to really learn, especially if you're going to continue to have them in the film. I'm all for it, right? Again, especially the Scream franchise, we've had the same 3 characters in it for 6 films, right? Right? So it's like, it's fine. If you want to do it, that's fine. If you want to keep them in, that's fine. But we need to do more than them just kind of standing there in the background and just giving, little dialogue here and there, or having like little one-off random scenes, right? Like I want to explore them. I want to know about them, right? I don't want a dialogue that goes nowhere. If you want to give Mindy these speeches, that's fine. Give her those speeches. Let her talk. Let her give these monologues. That's great. That's fine. But at least have it serve a purpose. At least have it serve a point. At least make it something worthy of us watching her give this dialogue for 5 minutes, right? I would rather that than just her spewing a bunch of stuff that doesn't happen, that serves no point in the movie. Again, Randy spoke and gave the audience perspective, gave us an insight into how this is going to map out and unfold and play out. Right? Where, he's talking about like, the body count is always bigger. The death scenes are much more elaborate, right? Never ever, never ever, assume the killer is dead, right? And all of those things happen in the movie, right? You see the transition, you remember it, you take it in, right? You get to digest it, and then it sets you up, right? Like you look at Scream 3 where he's talking about, even you, Sid, right? Like, and everything that it played out. It all actually came to fruition in the movie, and they followed the rules every movie since, right? So there's served purpose even beyond that film, right? So if you're going to have the Meeks Twins, give them purpose, please. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? If you have any thoughts, do you agree with me, disagree with me, kind of mixed in the middle? How do you feel, whatever your thoughts are? Either way, I'd love to hear it, so let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.